Now, there would be a lot of you who would be working from home at the moment. So you need to be managed unless you're self-employed. So how do you go about doing that? From a manager's perspective, futurist Gian Pereira is with us. Gian, good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
What are the fundamental changes that managers now need to implement?
Yeah, so if you're leading a team from home for the very first time, there may be some things that you've just never thought about, and maybe even things that you don't realize you need to think about. So I think the first thing is, and I've called this care, prepare, and share. And I think the first thing is care. So really be aware of your people going through some stress and anxiety. Some of them are in this really different environment, working from home for the first time. And I really think you should be checking in with them and asking them, are you okay? And just really making sure that they're okay. They may be feeling isolated because they're at home, or they may be feeling really crowded because they've got kids and pets around them. So first of all, check in with them, make sure they're okay. And you may not be able to, you don't necessarily have the psychological skills to help them, but at least you can help them get the support that they need. So that's the very first thing, just to care for them.
How do you manage them in the sense that you obviously want work to still be done, but you have to be considerate of perhaps their personal circumstances? If they might have children at home, they're adjusting to the new situation. So how do you have reasonable expectations, but also take into account some of what you've mentioned there, the difference in what we now have?
Yeah, and you absolutely do need to cut them a bit of slack at this stage, because you don't know what's going on in their home environment. Unlike in the office, when they walk in, you can see what sort of mood they're in. When they're working from home, you don't know unless you ask, so you definitely need to do that. So cut them some slack. But also, it's completely reasonable to have expectations of them to be productive. They may not be as productive as they would be in the office, especially to start off with, but you should have expectations. You should, and this is the prepare part, you should have tasks planned for them, and make sure that you are really clear in your instructions, Barry, because in an office, you may have a chat with somebody, give them a task to do, and if you're a little bit vague, that's okay, because if they get stuck, they can stand up, walk over, have a chat with you, or have a chat with a teammate. It's not as easy to do that when they're working from home. Even if you've got good electronic tools where they're communicating, sometimes they feel a little bit more reluctant to do that. So definitely have expectations, make the expectations really clear, ask people to check in with you if they don't understand something, and also make it really clear to them what sort of decisions they can make if they can't get in touch with you. So just help them understand what their responsibilities are, but also help build good judgment so they can make good decisions if they can't get in touch with you.
What does the research show, Gihan, if there is any, in terms of how quickly or otherwise people get up to speed when they're working from home?
Yeah, and there's been a lot of research around this idea of flexible work and working from home, because lots of employees now want that, probably not under the circumstances that are happening right now, where they're forced to do it. But there's been a lot of research around it, and the research is mixed. So some people feel isolated working from home. Some people don't. They love it. They love the freedom and the flexibility. But generally, they're the sort of people who will find social interaction in other ways. So they'll go out for a chat with mates over coffee, or they'll find ways to go out and walk around their local area when they take a break. And some of those things are taken away from them now. So just understand that people are going to be they're probably going to feel more isolated and more distant when they're working from home.
My guest on ABC Radio Perth in WA is Gihan Pereira, looking at really the changed world for a lot of you of working from home, and in particular from a manager's perspective, what managers really should be doing at the moment if they do have staff working from home. You mentioned checking in earlier, Gihan. Talk to that a bit more in terms of the communication that should be happening.
That's right, and this is the area of share. So I reckon that there are a few things that you can do as a manager and a leader to set an example and to be a role model for your team, because they're looking to you for leadership, especially now, and the sort of practices that you do are the sort of practices that they're now going to accept are the norm. So I reckon one thing is video. So when you have your team meetings, as much as possible, if it's possible, have them as a video meeting rather than just an audio teleconference call, because that actually gives them a little bit more of a feeling that they're talking to real people. And you've got a bit of an advantage because these people know each other. But still, having video turned on means that they can see each other's faces. They can look at each other while you're having a meeting. And now's the time to have more meetings rather than fewer. It doesn't mean that you want to interrupt them every hour, but it's not a bad idea to have a team meeting at the start of the day to check in with everyone, just so that everyone can see and feel like they're part of a team, and then maybe one at the end of the day, just to wrap up before you all finish up for the day. Now, you may just get away with one, and that's okay. Be careful not to have too many meetings and too many interruptions, because you do want people to be productive and they do want to go away and do their own thing. But a video meeting at the start of the day is a really good way to get that team spirit going.
It's also a time we must bear in mind that would be incredibly stressful for anyone who's in a management role. How do managers look after themselves in this environment?
Yeah, exactly. So as much as the team members are working from home, the care starts with yourself. It's like that airline safety announcement that they always say, put on your own oxygen mask first before helping other people. And I think it's really important that for all of us, whatever role we're in, and especially if we're in a management role, as I said, we're expected to be leaders for our team, to look after yourself first. So be careful, take care of yourself first, and then you can look after your team. So everything that I've said about people feeling isolated, kids and pets at home, that applies to you as much as to everyone else. So make sure that you create the best environment you can under the current circumstances, so that then you can be a role model to your team.
Gihan, good to chat. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Barry.